It is Y105, Dubuque's #1 hit music station. My name is Steve Pulaski. My next guest has been involved in the production of a couple hundred movies over his long career. Some of those movies include Terminator 2, True Lies, and the Mortal Kombat movie franchise. He's the founder of Threshold Entertainment and even recently released a book called A Touch of the Madness, available wherever you buy books. He is producer Larry Kasanoff. How are we today, Larry?
We are great, Steven. It's nice to be here. Thanks for asking me.
I appreciate it, man. The title of film producer is so vague to people, I think. What does your work week look like this week? Maybe break it down for us, Larry. What all is going on in your world as a film producer?
So what you do as a film producer is sort of everything. It's kind of like being a real estate developer where you look at land, envision the building, who's going to rent it, who's going to build it, who's going to be the architect, and how you're going to market it. So my week is we have something like 20 projects in various stages of development, meaning some are scripts, some are scripts with directors, financing attached, some are ready to go, some are ideas, and my week is constantly pushing those scripts down the line. You know the thing at a carnival where, everyone shoots a squirt gun into a little hole and then, your horse advances more if you shoot more into the water of the other guy? That's what it's like. You're just constantly trying to get your script down the field or to win the race and then make a great movie. And that's all you do every day, morning, noon, and night.
How did you find yourself in this world of film producing, Larry?
I wanted to be a movie producer since I was a little kid. My dad took me to see a James Bond movie when I was a little kid. I walked out and I said, I want to be that guy, James Bond. But also, what does it mean when it said producer? What does that guy do? And my dad told me, and that was it. And I knew since I was a little kid what I wanted to do.
You're probably best known for the Mortal Kombat movies. What were the challenges to get that first movie made back in 1995 from the producer's perspective when video game movies did not have really that great of a reputation? Walk me through that.
Well, that was exactly it. Video game movies had never worked, and everyone told me my career was over, and I was crazy to do it. When I got Mortal Kombat, it wasn't a hit game yet. It was testing as an arcade game in an arcade in Chicago, and I knew the company, and I went to play it. And as soon as I played the arcade game in the chairman's office, I turned to the chairman of the company that had the game, and I said, "This is Star Wars meets Enter the Dragon, my two favorite genres. If you let me make this as a movie, I guarantee you I'll make it in every medium in the world, movies, TV, animation, music, you name it, I'll do it." And the chairman of the company said, piece of crap video game. So even they thought it wasn't going to be worth it. And that was the challenge. It was getting everyone to understand and believe what a phenomenon this was and what a great story it was.
How did it feel to return to that world a couple of years ago for the brand new Mortal Kombat movie?
Well, we've actually been making Mortal Kombat productions for years. I mean, that was, I think, my 20th Mortal Kombat production. So we've done movies. We have done what I promised that executive I do. We've done movies, TV shows. We were the first million-selling EDM album ever, live stage shows, animation. So we've constantly been working on Mortal Kombat the whole way through. And how does it feel? It feels amazing. Sometimes I can't believe we're still talking about Mortal Kombat 25 years later.
Of all the Mortal Kombat movies you've gotten your hands on, Larry, which one is the closest to your heart?
I guess the closest to my heart, I want to say my next one, but I guess the closest to my heart is the first one because it was such an adventure. No one believed in us. I mean, New Line was great and let us go do it. They didn't think it was going to work really either. We were all over the place. We had a great crew. We shot in southern Thailand, which was beautiful. So that was a great, not only movie, but making it was a great adventure, and I love adventure.
He's film producer Larry Kasanoff, also the man behind Threshold Entertainment. A few more questions with you while I got you on the line, Larry. Some might not know you were behind the first ever Lego movie, and not the Lego movie in 2014. This was Lego, The Adventures of Clutch Powers. I remember when this came out. Talk about the process of producing that movie.
We went to Lego and said, hey, let's make a movie. And Lego wasn't doing quite as well as they are now. And Lego said, well, what if it doesn't work? We'll be sort of, embarrassed, and we're worried about that. And we said, okay, here's the idea. We'll make a movie and we'll just release it direct to DVD or direct to streaming. And if it doesn't work, it'll be under the radar. And if it works, we can then go make bigger movies. And so we raised independent money, meaning we got an investor who was not the studio, but then we got Universal to distribute the movie, and it worked great. And Clutch Powers was a streaming and DVD hit. Lego sales went up, and we went on to make, I think, 13 different Lego projects. We made theme park rides and more movies and things like that. So we had for a long time a great relationship with Lego.
I remember several years ago, your name came up and your company came up in relation to a Tetris movie. Whatever came of that, Larry?
What came of it was the pandemic and the kind of not thaw, but the kind of cold freezing in U.S.-China relationships. That movie was scheduled to be a co-production with China, and the pandemic and politics got in the way of it, which sometimes happens. There's nothing you can do.
He is film producer Larry Kasanoff. Your company, Threshold Entertainment, was said to have partnered with Simon Cowell's company to make an animated movie called X Factor in the Jungle. This looks really interesting. It's obviously based on the internationally popular, successful show. What's the status of that project?
Yeah, that project is going great. It should it's in pre-production, and it should start in earnest soon. It's a great idea. Jungle animals find a karaoke machine and decide to start their own version of the show to, for the first time, solve jungle disputes not by violence but by music. And it's a blast. Kirk Wise, who directed Beauty and the Beast, is directing it. Simon is obviously our partner. He's executive producer. He's going to be in it. We're casting it now, and it looks like a great project.
Threshold Entertainment, there's a lot of different things that go into your studio, I've noticed. You guys have so many different projects. One thing that you guys create is theme park rides for movies. I've never talked to somebody who's behind those, really gets in the weeds of those. How is the creative process for those different than that of a film, Larry?
In the theme park rides we've done, which include things like Marvel Superheroes 4D and The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man at Universal, the theme park says to you, we have to do something that's never been done before. So what's exciting about it and what's daunting about it is you have to invent something technologically that's never been done, because the theme park ride has to last a long time and be worth coming to a theme park. One of the first rides we ever did was Star Trek The Borg Adventure, which went into the Las Vegas Hilton, not a theme park in those days. And we had this idea to move a 3D camera in space through a Borg cube. Borg are where the bad guys in Star Trek are. It had never been done before. And the 3D cameras didn't exist. Most stereoscopic 3D to that point, it was just all stationary. You couldn't move the camera. But we had this idea that it would be a great for the theme park ride. We pitched Paramount, and they said yes, but we still didn't have the camera. So after we got the gig, we had to then go with another company, which we did, and invent a movable 3D camera, or what's called a 3D Steadicam. And that was the first ever moving 3D Steadicam shot, which started a whole wave of 3D movies and things. So that's what you have to do in every theme park ride. That's what's fun about it. That's what's daunting about it.
I love that. Great insights right there. You also have a book, A Touch of the Madness, teaches readers how to be more innovative in their lives and their own creative processes. I'm all ears if you want to touch on anything related to A Touch of the Madness.
Yeah, A Touch of the Madness uses fun stories from the kind of movies we're talking about, Dirty Dancing and Terminator and Mortal Kombat, to explain and hopefully inspire people that the best way to be more innovative and creative is to embrace your crazy side. You know, so many people I meet tell me they have this idea and it's crazy. My wife will kill me, my husband will kill me, my father, my brother, my boss. I don't know, but it's too nuts. That's the one. The one that you think is too crazy, you can't do. That's the one you have to embrace. And that's what the book talks about. And I wrote the book because I found so many people scared to embrace their inner madness. So A Touch of the Madness, which is available everywhere, audiobook, Audible or Amazon or Barnes & Noble, wherever, is a very quick read. It's like 2 hours, and it's fun, and it just encourages you to embrace your madness and be more creative.
Is there any movie, Larry, that you wish you could have been involved in, or maybe you were involved in at one point but dropped out for one reason or another? Is there anything that remains on your bucket list, or just kind of like the one that got away, maybe?
Do I have the one that got away? I don't really have the one that got away. Very early in my career, I got a great job out of school running production for an independent film company called Vestron. I had to make 80 movies a year, which was insane. I was 25 years old, and we made low-budget horror movies and action movies, and we got a script for this movie called Platoon, which was not the kind of movies we made. It was a very serious movie about the Vietnam War, but I wanted to make it, and my boss, who was a great guy, said, you're head of production, but if it fails, you're fired. What do you want to do? And I thought, I was like a year into my job, the best job in the world, but I did it. I greenlit Platoon, and when I watched the movie, when it was almost done, I'm the first guy in the world to ever giggle his way through the movie, because I thought, oh my God, I'm not getting fired. It was great, and the movie was so great it won Best Picture, and that's what taught me, you know what? We're not in this business to not take chances. And that's where I got the expression, A Touch of the Madness, because the director later said to me, kid, I like you. You have a touch of the madness, and I love that expression, and that's been the touchstone of my career. So if I like it, I go for it. That doesn't mean I'm always right, but it means I don't really have the one that got away.
He is film producer Larry Kasanoff. I greatly appreciate your time today, Larry. I want to give you the final word. Promote your website, your book, Threshold Entertainment, really whatever you want to leave off on. Where can people find you?
We talked about X Factor in the Jungle. We talked about A Touch of the Madness. I have a new book which just came out called Malibu Blonde, which is a photography book. In my other life, I'm a photographer. It's kind of like a 90s throwback to gorgeous women on the beach in Malibu playing with puppy dogs and driving red convertibles. And all the money I make from it goes to elephant charities. That's out now, too, and on Amazon. So Malibu Blonde.
What is your website where people can find you, too, Larry?
LarryKasanoff.com, ThresholdEntertainment.com, or TouchTheMadness.com.
He is Larry Kasanoff with Threshold Entertainment. Larry, I greatly appreciate your time. I wish you nothing but continued success in the future. Thank you.
My pleasure, Steve. Good talking to you.